Monday, May 9th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. I'm meteorologist Matthew East. I hope everybody had a wonderful Mother's Day weekend. The weather was pretty nice across much of the region. Had a little bit of rain as we went through early Sunday morning and portions of the Piedmont regions. But overall, most of us had a pretty good-looking Mother's Day weekend, and today the warmth is going to continue, but we are beginning to head into a fairly unsettled and frankly a pretty challenging forecast as we go through this week and into the upcoming weekend. Let's start off with a look at the radar imagery this morning, and we are entering what is called a northwest flow aloft, and that is always a challenging forecast, as a whole lot of the forecast will ride on the big complexes of storms that develop in this region and then move off to the south and east, and exactly how those behave and timing those out is always a challenge. More on that in a second. Flooding problems continuing for parts of the Ohio and the Mississippi River valleys. You've probably seen some of the news stories about that. That is an ongoing problem, so you still have all those flood products in effect there up and down the Mississippi River and parts of the Ohio River Valley, and that of course continues this morning. Pretty easy to pick out a frontal boundary. This is one of those deals where we have a wavy kind of stall front right through there. Fairly cool air to the north of it and getting pretty hot to the south of it. In fact, much of the plains into the 90s today, even the deep south getting up toward the lower 90s the next couple of days. And what's going to happen, you have that obviously that temperature discontinuity, and that'll feed these complexes of storms as they try to develop southeast. And it's also quite muggy south of that front. There's the dew point temperatures this morning, a lot of 60-plus dew point temperatures. This is your 60-degree dew point line right there, so it's all quite muggy in that area. Here's the day one convective outlook, the slight risk areas over parts of the Dakotas, and then also portions of Iowa and Illinois. That's today and tonight. Look at tomorrow's outlook, though, and you have a slight risk stretching from parts of the Ohio River Valley down into the western parts of North Carolina and much of South Carolina. And there's your day two probabilities, 30% area, western North Carolina to parts of South Carolina and easternmost parts of Georgia. Okay, so let's get into the upper air chart. This is what's called an omega block pattern setting up. You can really see that as we get into early Wednesday. And what you're looking at is a big trough in the Rocky Mountain region, ridge in the middle part of the country, and another trough near the east coast. And again, you can see that northwest flow. That's the deal here across our region as we go through this week. Now finally, by the end of the work week and the weekend, here's what happens. An upper level low begins to break off and slowly meander our way. That's going to mean probably an unsettled period of weather from Friday through the weekend, maybe even into Monday. So I'm not ready to declare the weekend a washout for the upcoming weekend, but it does look like there's going to be pretty good chances for some rain and storms as that soupy air is being worked on by this upper level low off to our north and west. So let's very quickly take it day by day. Here's today. We're dry across the region. It'll be a day with highs in the Piedmont, upper 70s and lower 80s. Now, tomorrow looks like a pretty good opportunity for some showers and storms, beginning from late afternoon and continuing through the evening. This is the GFS. There is the Canadian coming up tomorrow afternoon and then into tomorrow evening. And I'm sorry, there's the Canadian and there's the European valid tomorrow evening. So it looks very much like what we'll see happen is one of those big complexes of storms develop up in this region and then move into our region as we get into late tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. Some of those storms could very well be severe late tomorrow in that type of setup. And then we're just kind of dealing with watching off to the north and west for the rest of the week. That frontal boundary will be very close by, still a pretty soupy type of air mass in place. So that's Wednesday on the GFS, that is Thursday. And both of those days will feature the chance of at least a few showers and storms popping up through the day. And again, you always have to watch what's coming our way from the northwest. And then we get into Friday and the weekend. This is what the GFS prints out Friday. And I didn't put any of the weekend charts on here, but the general idea here is with that cutoff low nearby, you're going to be dealing with pretty good opportunities for some rain and storms Saturday and Sunday. And we'll just have to see how that upper air pattern unfolds for us for the upcoming weekend. Okay, that is it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and God bless.